Alright, looks like I'm live. Everybody, welcome to Cyberia. First thing I gotta do is make a fun username. Okay, shots fired is not gonna fit. I guess I have to go with shots fur. That should work.
Select arcade level.
For arcade difficulty, I go with 1, just because I take less damage from enemies, and I think for some of those sequences where my ammo is limited by an amount of charge that I have, it drains slower.
Select
and
puzzle
then
level.
Puzzle difficulty, I go with medium, because that's what I have the solutions memorized for. So, if we are ready to go, I believe we can start the time in 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Cyberia.
I think I need to just let this part speak for itself.
Hey, Zach, how's the ride?
Sporty. And how about telling me what's up?
Always to the point, my man. All right, here's the sitch. You'll rendezvous with the rig in about 10 minutes. Your contact is Santos. There's a TF-22 prepped and ready.
I've never flown a TF-22.
I know. The auto-nav is set to take you by optimum route to the Cyberia complex.
Trust is a wonderful thing.
I got you out of solitary, didn't I? Can't have you jetting around the globe instead of getting the job done, my man.
Just what is the job, Devlin?
Well, like I said, always to the point. All right, stand by. I'm going to shoot you some currents on the Cyberia project.
I still don't have top security clearance, but one of the science officers has started to tell me some things. They're making incredible advances in nanotechnology. I'm not sure if I managed to get the camera into one of the labs today, and it's very secret. All I could make out was a message about the project, learning to talk. The director went down to see for himself in his pajamas. He spent the next 2 days on the vid phone to Switzerland. It was getting really hot. I know the assistant suspects me, but I'm not really much in today. Security very tight. One of the technicians was injured today. Nobody will say hide copies of some internal email messages. It might be useful. I get into this fella. One died. They were constructing an isolation chamber on level 2. Message about the mission. I'll be gone by 0400 hours the day before. Don't let the team show up early.
Damn.
Hey, I knew that would grab your attention. So that's it. Infiltrate the complex and find the Cyberia weapon.
What do I do with it once I find it?
Well, I don't know. Keep it company. There's a cleanup team 24 hours behind you. All right, kid? Gotta run. Catch you later.
This is all still the intro. Okay, so first things first, I'm here to see a guy named Santos, because he's got a plane that I'm supposed to take to the Cyberia complex.
This is Santos. Report to my office immediately. Take the door on the right and don't wander around.
So, I'm just on my way to his office. Business as usual.
Turn around nice and slow and disarm the weapon.
And apparently now I'm being taken prisoner, and she takes away my gun. Guess I'm not firing any shots.
Is this how you greet all your new arrivals?
Only if they have a weapon.
Gia, quit screwing around and bring him to my office.
Come on. I'll take you to see Santos. We're under attack. Come on, follow me.
Love how her facial expression does not change there. But she didn't trust me. She did not trust me to have my own gun, but she trusts me to get in this turret and defend the station.
Look out! Good shot.
Alright, so this is the first section where there's actual RNG in the run. When and where enemies spawn is completely random. could be just a giant mess of enemies all over the screen. Or sometimes I'll just get 30 seconds of sitting here and nothing happens. You never really tell what you're gonna get. Mostly I'm trying to watch the radar on the bottom left to figure out where they're coming from. Even that doesn't help if they come in from really high up. Now, this is also one of the worst shooting sequences in this game because I have to aim with the arrow keys. All of the other sequences like this in the game I can aim with the mouse and it's much easier.
Watch it! Nice kill.
And then sometimes this happens, where there's just nothing for a while. Also, hitboxes are weird, especially on these mines. It can be really hard to hit.
Good shot. Fighters coming in. Magnetic mine! Watch it! Magnetic mine! Good shot.
And then sometimes that happens, and you can't even kill everything that's on the screen because there's just too much of it.
Watch it! Nice kill. Fighters coming in.
Actually surprised I got all of those.
Good shot. Look out! Magnetic mine! Watch it! Magnetic mine! Good shot. Fighters coming in. Good shot.
Now, at some point fairly soon here, the sequence is just going to kind of end. Not really a set ending to it. Just once all the enemies are dead or gone, it just kind of ends.
Watch it! Watch it! Magnetic mine!
There's more mines than you usually get. Most of the time it's all planes and fighters, maybe one or two mines. I'm getting a lot of mines though.
That was
it's over.
amazing. Kiss me.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, there's Santos.
All right, we're getting out of here. Take the lift to the hangar and prepare to take off immediately.
And so you actually have two options there. You can kiss Gia, or you can refuse. If you do, Santos gets mad and has you locked up, and then you have to escape, and then all of the guards are trying to kill you while you're leaving this place, and it's just slower that way. So instead we refuse. And just walk away. I have to go to the hangar and get to the plane. Hangar. Okay, so normally if you try to go this way before you do any of that, the guard at the top will just immediately shoot you when the store opens and you die.
Come on, let's go.
But since we did what we were supposed to, he just lets me walk on by. Now the other thing is, normally if you kiss Gia, they put a bomb on this plane so that you can't just take it and leave. And that bomb is still here because they just sort of assumed that you did that. So I still have to disarm the bomb. And it's disarmed. Normally the sunglasses that this guy is wearing, the game calls them blades. They have three functions. They have an MRI function, a biomass scan, and a heat scan. And for that bomb puzzle, you're supposed to use the MRI scan so that you can actually see what all those buttons do and then disarm the bomb, but since the solutions are always the same, I can just solve it.
Still alive?
Just how hot is this thing?
The cartel wants it pretty bad. They know we have the Cyberia files, but I thought that if I sent you in alone, we could avoid all of this crap.
Yeah? Well, it looks like they're laying out the welcome mat.
Indeed. Tech scan shows a lot of cartel activity on your route to the complex. Your onboard fire control system should be able to handle it.
Machine faith, Devlin?
Trust is a wonderful thing. Remember?
Right.
Okay, so this plane is on autopilot. I have no control over it whatsoever. And supposedly, all of the guns are also automatic as well, except that they have a malfunction, so I have to defend myself.
Rerouting fire control systems to manual operation. Target acquired.
Well, the other thing is, this plane is supposed to be on autopilot, taking us to the Cyberia facility. I don't know why it takes some of the ridiculously weird routes that it does.
Target acquired.
You notice I'm waiting to shoot some of these enemies. Before the game actually puts that yellow highlight on them, they don't actually have a hitbox, so shooting them won't do anything. I also can't just hold down the fire button because I have a limited amount of energy for my gun. As you can see in the top left corner, it drains while I'm firing. It regenerates, but slowly.
Targets approaching. Target acquired.
That's why I just kind of wait until enemies actually have a hitbox before I shoot at them.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired.
Oh. Aw. Never actually missed that.
Navigation systems active.
Some of these take more than one hit to die. That's one of them. So that's the thing with these sections. There's not much you can do to speed them up, but you can definitely lose time by dying.
Rerouting fire control systems to manual operation. Target acquired.
Hey, Mouse Mouth, how's it going?
Target acquired.
Also, this one doesn't blow up from shooting it. It is scripted to die in this cutscene. Unfortunately, I have to do this section again.
Target acquired.
That one I have to wait for its hitbox to actually be there.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Hostile targets approaching.
That time I got it. And now the boat blows up. Nice South Park explosion.
Area secure.
Yeah.
Shields
There's not a whole lot to say about a lot of these sections since they are auto-scrollers, but they do have some interesting music.
target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired.
Now there are some story reasons for why I'm flying through these areas and why I have to kill these enemies at all.
Target
Because
acquired.
this TF-22 fighter that I'm in is supposed to be on autopilot directly to the Cyberia facility.
Target acquired.
So why that autopilot is flying me through all of this and in big circles is anybody's guess. Some of them have a little bit of story to it, some of them it's just you're flying around and fighting stuff because they wanted to make a game where you're flying around and fighting stuff.
Target acquired.
Also, the game can be a bit of a troll with the enemy placements in these levels. They are always the same,
Target acquired.
but there are some that just fly across the screen. You only get a fraction of a second to react to them. And it's just kind of... It's ridiculous that they actually expect you to be able to hit them at all. And if you're playing through this for the first time, there's a ton that you're just gonna miss. Yeah, it's actually kind of surprising how the few times that I've streamed runs of this game, how people come in and talk about how they've got fond memories of playing it back in the mid-90s.
Warning. Cruise missile launch detected.
I mean, I didn't even know this game existed until I saw
Objective in range.
Game Informer do a super replay of it. And I had a lot of fun watching through that. But
At maximum.
now the game is available on GOG,
Navigation systems
so
active.
I mean, I'm on Windows 10 right now.
Target acquired.
I bought the game from GOG. I think I just have to run it in compatibility mode with Windows 7 and it runs perfectly fine. If anybody was interested in playing it, it's not hard to get a hold of.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Entering hover mode. Hostile targets approaching. Target acquired.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised when I first played through this game how, even though you can tell it hasn't aged very well, it's still, it's surprisingly fun to play.
Entering hover mode.
Yeah, this is sort of the boring part of the speedrun since, you know, all I'm doing is
Target acquired.
flying around on this preset path and shooting stuff. It does get more interesting once I'm back on foot.
Hostile targets approaching. Areas.
This is sort of the weird one, it just kind of ends.
Shields at maximum.
So there's a shield generator right there.
Navigation system.
That's the objective of this. I can't destroy it yet because it doesn't have a hitbox yet.
Entering hover mode. Hostile targets approaching. Target acquired. Target acquired. Target acquired.
Wait. Wait a minute. You're telling me that the guy with the ponytails and the menacing tone of voice isn't one of the good guys?
Target acquired.
I'm shocked.
Target acquired. Warning. Tunnel entrance is shielded. Scanning.
Okay, so there's the shield door that I can't get through right now
Generator must be destroyed.
because I need to destroy the shield generator. Which is the thing I flew past at the start of this section. Unfortunately, I can't just destroy it right away, because the game won't let me.
Target acquired. Approaching shield generator.
Yeah, alright. The whole reason anybody's even watching this is because they want to understand the story. I mean, this game is the pinnacle of storytelling.
Shield generator in range.
Another funny thing, the shield generator still has a reflection on the water even though I just destroyed it. Coming up now is the hardest part of these fighter sequences.
Shields
I'm in this really small tunnel. Anything that highlights blue is a fuel truck, and if I shoot a fuel truck, this whole tunnel explodes and I die.
target acquired.
Unfortunately, I have not done a run of Cyberia 2 yet. Need to do a little bit of routing on that before I can actually do a run of it, but I plan on doing them at some point. Okay, survived the tunnel.
Shields at maximum.
So now there are enemies highlighted blue here as well. I don't actually lose if I shoot them, but they're generally speaking my allies and I just don't want to shoot them. And another thing is, that tunnel is fairly difficult to get through on PC when I can aim with a mouse. I can only imagine how hard it is to do on like a PlayStation 1 with a D-pad.
Target acquired.
So there's the potential that I die at the very end of this section,
Target acquired.
because the last enemy that spawns in, if I don't kill it right away, I die instantly no matter what my health is. I'm not sure why, but that's the way they set it up.
Approaching refueling area.
It's that one right there. If I hadn't killed that one, I would have just died right here. Even though my health was almost full.
Area secure.
And speaking of which, my health is this meter on the top right.
Stand by for refueling. Thanks for the help.
Okay, so now we're on to the last flight sequence.
Systems active.
And you can tell we're close to the Cyberia facility because it's blue and wintry looking.
Hostile targets approaching.
This is definitely one of the sections where I'm really glad for the yellow highlight box that appears around enemies, because some of them are very hard to see.
Weapons control interference. Clearing. Entering hover mode.
Yeah, so here's the boss of the flight sequences. You just have to shoot the 4 parts of it that highlight, and then it dies. That was the boss.
Area secure.
Hey, if anybody is actually interested in playing this game, you can get it pretty cheap off of GOG. That's how I got it. Okay, so now we're done with the flight sequences. We can get back into more interesting gameplay. But first, some story.
We've been monitoring your progress. Pretty impressive, Zach. Sorry about the weapons glitch.
Target practice.
Yeah. Here's the sitch. Recon shows that cartel forces haven't been able to penetrate to the Cyberia weapons level yet. In fact, it appears from some of the transmissions we've intercepted that they've lost quite a few of their operatives.
Lost? How?
That's not clear, but it looks like there's some kind of infection or contamination in the complex.
Great.
Make sure you've got protection.
I'm going to kill that bastard.
Hey, there's the link for GOG. Anyway, there are 2 different ways to get into the Cyberia facility. Is at this fork in the road I can take a left or a right. You go to the left, you have to get through a guard, and you have to solve a door puzzle. I don't want to do that because the guard is really annoying to deal with. Instead, I'm going to take this path. I'm just gonna walk on into this tunnel. I'm sure it's totally safe. This weird sound means nothing.
Whoa! Slice-o-matic.
Alright, so I gotta get through the slice-o-matic. I did not quite get through the slice-o-matic. Luckily, this game is good with checkpoints.
Whoa! Slice-o-matic.
Really? That should have made it.
Whoa, slice-o-matic. Whoa, slice-o-matic.
There we go. Okay, so now I have to get through this hallway pretty quickly. You can hear the weird humming noise. If I stay in this hallway too long, I just kind of die. Because apparently this noise kills you. Alright, survive the slice-o-matic and the weird noise hallway. Now I have to go over this way. So, normally I'm supposed to use a heat scanner to figure out the order to press those buttons in, but they're always the same, so I can just enter the code. And now I'm onto the second RNG of the game, which is this room. And sometimes, if this room decides that you are going to die, like that, there's really nothing you can do about it. Gotta reload the right checkpoint. Yeah, so for this section you have to kill the guard on the middle left, and then the guard on the middle right. If the guard on the middle right decides to fire really quickly, there is nothing you can do. You're just dead. Also, it likes to eat my inputs sometimes. Yeah, this is pretty much normal for this game. Hey, I got past them. Now these other two are also a bit of a nightmare. Come on. Hey, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so that's it for that RNG. Now I need to go down here. All the way to the end. So there are a bunch of other rooms in this place you can explore. They give you clues, they give you some more story information. You don't really need it. Now this next room, if I step forward at all after I'm through the door, they will instantly shoot me through this wall and I'll die.
Newfound sentience. In conclusion, it would appear that at this stage of research, the potential of the Cyberia weapon is virtually limitless. However, the fundamental lack of boundaries this potential brings makes this project extremely difficult to control. But even if we can't find a way to control and harness this entity, then surely the spin-off technologies from our research will have justified the time and costs required for this project. Thank you.
Arnold, get a progress report.
Right.
So as soon as those doors close, I can move forward. Now I have to shoot this guy. Okay. Now I have to go all the way to the end of this hallway, and then go into a room on the right and enter the password on the computer. Normally there's clues and you have to explore a bunch of rooms to figure out what the password is, but it's always the same, so I already know what it is. And yeah, we'll go from there. I don't actually have to do anything once I'm in this computer. I just have to enter the password and then leave. Because normally you're supposed to look through all the files on that computer and it will tell you the door code for the next door coming up. But again, it's always the same, so I already know it. But the door won't actually open unless you have entered the password on the computer. That actually went a lot better than it usually does. That guard would throw a grenade at me. You have to seal the door, so that the grenade explodes inside there and doesn't kill you. Now I have to go back a bunch. So all of this stuff that I've done since I entered the Cyberia facility, the entire point of all of it was to kill guards. Because the next area I have to get through, if you don't kill all of these guards, there will be one waiting on the other side of the door, and he will just immediately shoot you and kill you if you try to go through that door. There's no other purpose to anything I've done since I got here. Oh, we just got a bit of backtracking. Okay, now I'm back into the room where I first entered the Cyberia facility. I have to walk over here and move this crate because it's totally intuitive that you would be able to walk over here and move this crate. And then this wall is actually a door. And now we get on the world's safest elevator. We walk over to this door, take a peek. Guard's not here. We can go in. There is another guard in here, though. And if I walk through the middle of this room, he will vent poison gas into the room and kill me. Instead, I have to sneak past him when he's not looking at the window. There we go. That was the sneaking section. But now if I run past this door, he will jump out and immediately shoot me in the back, so I have to go in and kill him.
Any word on the explosion?
Yeah, beautiful, huh?
Who the hell?
Come on. There we go. Now he's dead, and I'm on my way to the last RNG of the run, which is just on the other side of this big door. Two guards here. Which one of them is firing and how many shots they fire is completely random. I just have to pick which one I'm going to shoot at and hope that they don't kill me before I can shoot. That was really close to me dying. Kind of trying to play it safe because it's quite a bit of time lost if I die here. Yeah, I didn't get him. This is what I mean by this part being random. That guard can stand there and shoot for pretty much any amount of time without stopping. I definitely don't want them both to just stand there. They can't do anything if they're both standing. Come on, guys, work with me here. Oh. Not that checkpoint. That checkpoint. That's why it's bad to die there. Normally they don't give you quite that bad of a pattern. It is unfortunate. They can shoot you at the exact same time that you shoot them.
Any word on the explosion?
Yeah, beautiful, huh?
Who the hell?
Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Okay, I didn't want to inspect that. I already know it's nothing there. I don't know why you can expect it. Just kind of a thing that's there on the wall.
Any word on the explosion?
Yeah, beautiful, huh?
Who the hell?
Oh. Of course he fired quick. Like I said, when this game decides that it wants to kill you, you're going to die. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes it eats your inputs, and you don't turn and get behind cover. But for this being on difficulty, that's for the arcade sections, which are where it's the auto-scrollers, and it determines how much damage you take. Sections like this are always the same, so higher difficulties don't change this part at all. I'll just shoot him. Really? On the bright side, the run is pretty much set once I'm past this part. I need both of these guys to duck. And then not have both of them stand up again at the same time. Okay, got one. Okay, we got past it. No more RNG in the run. Now I have to do a little bit of backtracking, since I always go for that part first. Now I have to go back and do a little bit of other stuff. There's a door I need to get through that I can't get through yet. That is by far the worst section in the game. So in here I just have to open the vents and then I can leave. And then I have to go back through here. I can just walk right through the middle of this room since I killed the guard who puts poison gas in here. Go back into the safe elevator room. and then push down this grate, because it's totally intuitive that you can push down that grate. And I just get to walk for a little bit. And there's the key card.
Gotcha.
I always like his dialogue right there. I think, unfortunately, I am probably going to end up overestimate now, since that section was significantly worse than I expected it to be. But at least I can't really lose any more time. Okay, so now that I've got the key card, I can go down here and open up the door that I needed the card for. Once I'm in there, there's another kind of arcade sequence where I am creating an antidote for an infection that's going through the facility.
Access approved.
So the way the difficulty affects this sequence is that, what's happening in the sequence is that I need to shoot all the little kind of orange blobs that are here, because those are the infection that's going through the facility. And I need to get this sample to stay above 50%, because it's on the easiest difficulty. The medium difficulty, you need it to stay above 70. And the hardest difficulty, I think, is 85. As long as it's above 50, then I have a usable sample that I can use to inoculate myself against the infection. And because I get to do this with a mouse, since I'm on PC, it's a pretty easy sequence to get through. But I can hardly imagine trying to do it with a D-pad on a PlayStation 1 or anything like that.
Contamination eliminated.
Alright, so it's above 50%, so that's all I needed to do here. Now I enter the contaminated area. So as soon as I enter the area where it announces there's contamination, I'm on a timer before it just kills me.
Interlock closed.
So I have to get to the room where I use the inoculation and cure myself before I fall over and die. I get some great camera angles in this room. Really easy to tell where it is that I'm going. Pick sample 6 there, because that's the one that I did in the other sequence. Then I stand in this beam of light, and I'm cured.
Post-contamination eliminated.
Now I get the Charlie sequence. Fun fact. You can fire Charlie's weapon from this angle. That's what happens if you do that. Yeah, this road has had a lot of the boring death animations. I had to at least get a funny one in. I also have to up the brightness for this section because it's really dark. Okay, so what I have to do here, there's a lot of little, I guess, alien creatures in here, or whatever they are. If even a single one of them survives, I die. And you can see the blue bar across the bottom of the screen. That's the amount of energy that my ship has, or my little ship has, in order to fly. But shooting my laser also drains that energy, so if that runs out, I die. Fortunately, the devs decided to take a little bit of mercy on players, and they give you a little area nuke that you can use if you miss one. Of course, it also drains your energy. Yeah, this part is still really dark, even with the brightness turned, I think, all the way up. Like I said, this game's a little trolly with its enemy placement in these sequences. Some of them fly by so fast you barely have time to shoot them. And those didn't actually have hitboxes yet, so I couldn't shoot them. Almost at the end. Forgot about that one. Okay, that's the end of the Charlie sequence. So I've just got one more door puzzle to get through, and then we're on to the end. This is a fairly annoying little puzzle to try and get through. This one I do actually have to use the MRI scan to see what's going on. So I need to get all of these little parts along the bottom to line up on that pipe going across the middle. If my timing is just right, it was not. Yeah, that didn't get it either. That should have worked. Okay. I swear, every time I'm doing this, it looks like it should be working. Especially annoying because they all fall at a different rate. That was the wrong order. There we go. Now we have found the Cyberia weapon.
What the hell is this thing?
Clara, what is your form?
You speak?
Self-unit communicates speaks with form. What is your form?
My form is human.
Yes, human. But what is form identification?
Oh, my name. I am Zach. Who are you?
This guy and his 10-pack abs, making me look bad.
Project.
That's a hell of a name. Can you see me? Visual?
Self-unit sees Zach body. Zach body sees self-unit.
Zach, you there?
Yeah, I read you.
You made it, eh? I knew you were the right man for the job.
Devlin, this weapon, it's unbelievable. It's sentient.
Really? It's too bad, then,
What?
that it's only going to be sentient for about another minute.
What are you talking about?
You got it backwards, Zach. That thing isn't the weapon. You are. Adios, pal.
Twist ending.
Radio activation. Micronic thermonuclear device in Zach body. Device detonation threshold in 60-second time units.
Son of a bitch!
Zach body. Device detonation will cease all life functions.
We're both gonna die.
Zach body lives. Query. Self-unit lives?
You're more alive than most of the people I know.
Query. Zach body can survive if merged with self-unit. Device detonation threshold in 30-second time units. Zach body will survive if merged with self.
Okay, so after everything that's happened, we do the only sensible thing. We merge our body with whatever this thing is that we just found, and then launch ourselves out of a volcano into space.
What is this?
Death. Life.
Where are you?
With you. With me.
Devlin.
Must be terminated.
How?
We can do it.
Together.
Scanning for location of last Devlin communication.
Okay. Game is almost over, I promise. Actually, yes, if you stand there and wait for the 30 seconds until the bomb is supposed to go off, it will explode and you'll die.
Accelerated approach. Collision course. It's receiving us now, Mr. Devlin.
Well, well. The best laid plans, eh? Just what the hell are you now, Zach?
Shockwave. Force and magnitude growing.
Defense systems up. Launch the swarm. Scramble all interceptors. Kill it.
So, last action sequence. I have unlimited, or my ability to shoot is unlimited here. So I'm pretty much just going to hold it down the whole time. My health is not unlimited, even though I don't have any sort of indication of what my health is at. But it is still possible to die here. And because the camera is constantly moving, it's pretty hard to actually hit anything that you're aiming at. We are almost at the end. I promise you won't have to look at this game much longer. Yeah, so time is coming up pretty soon. It's right when you see the flames go up over Devlin's face. Right about... and... time.
See you in hell.
And we get this amazing ending. The space station explodes, we crash into the ground, and credits. Alright. Well, that is about it for this run. There's some pretty bad luck in there, but... alright. There is a sequel. I haven't actually gotten around to that one yet.
Crash site now, Dr. Corbin.
Status?
Shallow vital signs detected. Whatever it is, it's still alive. A and B teams ready to begin extraction.
Proceed.
All right, Rescue 1, nice and easy.
Set position.
Rescue 2, positioning.
We're in place.
Engaging.
Steady, Rescue 1. That's it, take it up. Rescue 1, station secure. We've got him, Doctor.
Get us the hell out of here.